Okay, so we're going to talk about gears on this video. Basically what you've got to think about with your gearbox is how many gears you've got. On this car we've got 6 gears. We've also got reverse gear. Obviously it's got the little pattern on the top of there, which when we use the gear, I really want you to cover that up. What you don't want to be doing is getting the hand position on that left side, especially when you're wanting to go for first or second gear, because what you'll tend to find is that your hand will slip off it. And we're going to talk about positive gear change in a little bit as well. But first of all, like I say, let's just go through the 6 main gears that we have on this car. Starting with the neutral. Let's not forget about neutral at this point. So the neutral is obviously runs right through the middle. So at the moment it will run from left to right. You've got 3 main positions on there. So you've got the middle position, which is underneath 3 and above 4. The left side position, which is 1 and 2. And then finally the right side position, which is 5 and 6. Okay, some cars only have 5 gears, but you're still going to go to the right side for that gear 5. Alright, I'll quickly mention reverse on there as well. Obviously pushing the lever all the way to the left is taking us to 1 and 2. Don't be scared, you're not going to hit reverse by mistake. The only reason you're going to get reverse is on this car, you've got to lift the safety lever up. And now that will take it across that little bit further, and now I can push it forward, and that's going to enter reverse gear. Some reverse gears might have a little switch on there, or you might even have to push the lever down, or even lift the lever up to get it into reverse gear. As I pull it out of reverse gear, it will click out, but now it won't go any further back until I lift that lever up again. So let's go back to the 6 forward gears. So again, at the moment, I'm back in neutral, so I'm now back onto the point where I'm in the middle of 3 and 4. So to get to first gear, I'm now going to put my hand on the top, and I want to pull my hand to the side. So I'm literally pulling my hand to the right side of that gear lever. So what I can now do is I can push away from me. It's easier to push away from me from that position than to try and pull it in that position. So I'm going to pull my hand to the side again and push it to the left. I can feel it's as far to the left as possible. And now I'm just going to gently push forward, and I can feel that locking into first gear. I know that's locked in. I don't need to check it. I know it's in there. So there's my first gear, and that's what I'm going to be using for moving off from stationary. So obviously from very slow, or I'm going to use first gear at very slow speeds as well. But on this occasion, it's going to be used for moving off from stationary. Once I'm up and running, and I'm going to get to about 10, 12, maybe even 15 miles an hour, and at that point the engine's going to start getting loud, so I know that I need another gear. At that moment, I will move it down to second gear. So I'm now going to demonstrate that movement between gear 1 and gear 2. So again, I want to be positive that I'm going to hit second gear. I don't want to hit 4th gear. I don't want to come across to 6. So what I'm going to do on this point, I'm going to push my hand back to that left, and I'm going to gradually pull it down to neutral. I can feel it pulling out of gear, and then slide it into second gear. And now I know that I'm in gear 2. So I'm just going to demonstrate that once more. So hand on the side, I put the clutch down, neutral, second. So it needs that brake in the middle of the gear change. What I don't want to do is pull it quick, because then it'll crunch, it'll be noisy. It's not a smooth gear change. So the slower the better. So allow the gearbox to get that feeling into gear. Clutch, push, neutral, gear. Then the clutch can come back out, and now you're in gear 2. Gear 2, you're going to run now gear 2, possibly from as low as 10 mile an hour, up to 15, up to 20, possibly up to 25 mile an hour. Again, the earlier you change gear, the better. You want to keep the engine noise fairly low, but you don't want to gear change too early. If you gear change too early, the engine's going to struggle, and it's going to struggle to get up speed. Or if it's too slow, it could even stall. So going from 2 to 3, I'm now reaching about 20-25 mile an hour. Again, what I want to do with gear 3, I want to let the gearbox do the work for me. I don't need to find gear 3. Gear 3 will find itself. So all I need to do is push it gently into neutral and let the gear lever come back over, and the gearbox will pull across. If I try and pull it to the 3rd gear, I'll probably find gear 5. So all I'm going to now do is I'm literally going to just put my hand on top and near enough use the palm of my hand just to nudge it forward towards, basically towards the screen, the radio, whatever you want to class it. So again, my clutch is going to go down. I'm going to just gently nudge it into neutral. I know that's now in neutral. It's now just going back to below 3 and above 4. And I'll just need to gently nudge forward, and I now know that's locked into gear 3. So just to demonstrate that once more in real time. So clutch would go down, neutral. I'm not gripping hold of it, gently forward. And then my clutch is back out, I'm back in third gear. I can now build speed up from 20 all the way to 30. And on this car, if I was travelling at 30 mile an hour in a 30 mile an hour zone, I would just leave it in gear 3. Again, some cars do like to go up to gear 4 at 30 mile an hour. This car doesn't like it. So I would now leave it in gear 3 until I'd get to about 35, even possibly up to 40 mile an hour. But again, the engine's starting to get loud again. Gear 3 to gear 4. It's a straight line. Again, I don't need to push it left or right. I just need to just gently come down. I'm literally going to use my fingertips this time, just to pull it straight back. But again, it's going to take 2 movements. Neutral, pause, gear. So again, I'm doing about 35 mile an hour. Hand on the gear lever, fingertips. I don't need to grip it, just fingertips. Clutch down, neutral, gear 4. Clutch back out, back onto power. Build up speed to 40. Again, hold it at a 40 road. If I'm on a faster road, up to 40, 50. And then I'm thinking about the next gear up. So let's take it across to gear 5 and gear 6. So again, I've got to think about that positive movement. I've got to do 3 movements. Movement 1 to neutral, movement 2 to the side, movement 3 up to the top. So again, there's no shortcuts on this. The gear lever will not go diagonally. It has to go up, across, and then up again. So again, positive. Clutch down, neutral. Look at my hand position. I've just changed it. My hand's on the side now, so I'm going to pull it towards me, towards my leg. It's gone across towards my leg, and now I can just gently push forward. It's now locked into gear 5. Clutch is back out. I'm back onto power. I can build up speed again. I want to just demonstrate that once more. So I'm back in 4. Clutch, neutral, cross, and up. Make sure you feel that sideways movement. If you push it too high, it'll go into 3, and then you're trying to pull it across, and it will not go to gear 5. So neutral, across, and then top. Okay, so we're in gear 5 now. Now doing 50, 60 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour on a dual carriageway, national speed or motorway. I'm now thinking gear 6. Again, hand is on that side, clutch goes down. I'm pulling it towards my leg. Neutral, lock it into gear 6. Clutch back out, and now I'm using that speed to keep that maximum speed of 70 mile an hour. Okay, so that's the gears going up. Coming down the gears, yes, I could go through every single gear. I can go from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, or I can actually skip gears coming down the speed, down the gearbox. It all depends on what speed I'm travelling at, and also what speed I'm going to be dropping down to. So let's say, for example, I'm on a motorway at 70 mile an hour, and in the distance there's slow traffic, but they're moving. They're doing about 15, 20 mile an hour. What I can now do is I can go from 6th straight to gear 2. But what I would do is I'd need to slow the car down. So I've seen the danger, I've seen the problem, I'm off the power, I'm onto the brake, I'm bringing that speed level down. You'll know that you need a gear change by the noise of the engine. It starts to grumble, it's not happy about it. So what I would do at that point is put the clutch down. Now, just because the clutch is down doesn't mean I need to gear change. Because what I've now got to do, I've got to think about what speed I'm going to travel before I change the gear. Right, so I've started to brake, I'm doing 70. I'm bringing that speed down to 60, down to 50. The engine's starting to struggle in 6th gear. The clutch can go down at that point. I can then keep braking because 2nd gear wants to be about 20 mile an hour. So the clutch is down. I'm going to continue braking until I reach 20 mile an hour. 20 mile an hour, I can now hand on the gear lever. I'm bringing it into neutral. I've got to now push it across to the left and now bring it down into 2nd gear. And now I can start slowly lifting off the clutch. I'm now in second gear at the right speed, and that's the important part of it, is getting the right speed for the gear you're going to be in. If I try and change to second gear and the speed's too high, as that clutch comes back out, the engine is then going to slow the car down very quickly. It's going to go very loud as well, and it's not going to do the engine or the gearbox or the clutch any good. So make sure that the speed is low enough to take that gear. So recap, slow down with the brake. As the engine starts to struggle, clutch can then go down. Once you get to the right speed for that gear, so keep that brake working. On this occasion, 20 mile an hour, neutral, across to the left, down to the second gear. Once it's locked in second gear, I can then slowly lift off the clutch. Okay, I just want to quickly mention about when I'm coming to a stop by using my gears. So let's say on this occasion I'm running down this road in fourth gear, and I wanted to park up on the left. What I then do is I use my MSM routine, and then once I get to the point where I'm going to start slowing down, I'm going to lift off the power. I'm going to use the foot brake to bring that speed level down. Once the speed's down low enough, so again I want to feel the car starting to grumble at me. At that moment, that's when I push my clutch down. What I don't want to do is go for the clutch too early. Put the clutch down too early, the speed's too high, the engine then is not helping you slow down, so you don't get that engine braking. Engine braking is when obviously you lift off the power, the engine's starting to slow the car down, so it is helping. It is another brake, and you do want to use that to help you slow down. Another reason, again, you've got to be talking about coasting. So while that clutch is down, every time the clutch goes down, yes, you are coasting. But again, you don't want to be coasting at the wrong time. So again, at higher speeds with the clutch down, you don't get the engine braking. The wheels are more likely to lock up if you hit that brake too hard. So again, you want the engine to drive them wheels round as you start using the brake. So if I was going to stop the car in fourth gear, I'm going to start using the foot brake initially. I'm going to start bringing that speed level down. Once the engine starts to struggle, so I would say it's going to be around on this car in fourth gear, about 30-35 mile an hour, it's going to start to struggle. Then the clutch is going to go down. If I was slowing down in third gear, it's going to be that little bit longer, maybe down to about 25, maybe getting close to 20. At that point, that's when the clutch is going to drop down. When that clutch then goes down, I can just control the braking to bring it to a slow, bring it to a gradual stop. If I was slowing down, let's say I was in second gear, so obviously if I'm travelling in second gear, I'm slow anyway. I'm probably going to be travelling about 15 to 20 mile an hour. Again, I can start using that foot brake initially, but probably going to get on the clutch very, very quickly. So it's going to be braking, clutch down, control that brake, and then bring it to a final stop. And just to finish that one off, if I was in first gear, again, very slow traffic, and I was going to need to stop, I'm probably going to go brake and clutch at the same time. Because if I try and go brake first, then clutch, by the time I've got the clutch down, the engine's probably stalled. It's probably already cut out because I was going too slow anyway. So at the highest speed, you're going to be braking and leaving the clutch later. At lower speed, you're going to be braking, clutch down practically the same time, or there's going to be a very slight gap between that braking. Okay, and then what I'm going to now do is I'm going to give you a demonstration of using these gears. Okay, so we're ready to move off. So I'm going to get the car ready. So again, it's clutch, gear 1. Again, look at that hand position. I need to push it over up to that top. I now know I'm definitely in gear 1. I'm going to find the bite, add that little bit of power. I'm going to do my observation checks, clear, handbrake off. Hold that clutch for about 3 seconds, 4 seconds, clutch can come fully out, increase power. Now the engine is already starting to get loud. So my hand's back on the gear lever, pushing towards that left, clutch down, off the power. 1 movement, 2 movements, off the clutch, power on. So I'm now in second gear, engine starting to get to 20 mile an hour. It's just starting to get loud again. Hand on the gear lever again, clutch down, off the power, neutral, gear 3, clutch back out, power back on. Okay, so there's gear 3. I'm now doing 20-25 mile an hour, coming up to 30 mile an hour. I'm going to slow it down in a moment because I've got this roundabout to deal with. Alright, so I'm just going to check the mirrors, I'm going to signal, I'm going to start slowing down with the foot brake. Again, I'm going to take it back down to second gear, clutch down, neutral, cross to the left, down, lift the clutch slowly, and this time it's looking like I'm going to have to stop anyway, so I'm now going to push it back to first gear, pushing that lever off to that left side. slow move off, control, gear 2, clutch down, neutral, gear 2, clutch back out. As I get back off the roundabout, I'm going to pick up speed and go back to gear 3 and then also gear 4. Okay, so a bit of speed, bit of power, up to 25-30 mile an hour, clutch going down, gear 3, clutch back out, power on. So again, I'm now reaching 30 mile an hour. I'm going to do the 4th gear. It might grumble a little bit at me, but I just want to demonstrate it. So again, clutch down, off the power, fingertips, neutral, gear 4, off clutch. Okay, so what I'm going to do in a moment is park up. So I've checked my mirrors. I'm now going to start slowing the car down with a foot brake. The clutch is going to go down as the car starts to grumble. There, clutch is down. I can just continue braking. I haven't touched the gear lever. There's no reason to be touching that gear lever at the moment. And I can bring the car to a complete stop. My left foot is still on the floor. My brakes are still working. I can now put the handbrake on. I can just now bring the gear back into neutral. And I've got to make sure that is definitely into neutral. Okay, so I'm just going to do a very small reverse, mainly just to show you the movement of the gear lever and then a bit of clutch control just to move backwards, and then I'm just going to stop. Okay, so all I'm going to do, clutch back down, reverse gear. Like I said, some cars are different. Sometimes you're going to have to go to the front of the gear lever. On this occasion, what I'm going to do with my hand is I'm going to just put my hand upside down, thumb on top, fingers underneath the lever so I can easily lift that lever up. Trying to do it that angle, it's a little bit awkward. So hand upside down, squeeze, cross to the left, lock it in reverse gear, and now it's in reverse. Again, bike point ready. I can feel the car starting to pull. Again, heels on the floor. I've locked my foot on that floor. Make sure it's safe. It's looking clear everywhere. Handbrake off. As the car starts to move, if I feel it's moving too fast, I'm just dipping my toes down slightly. Bike point again, dip them toes down. Bike point again, dip them toes down. And now my clutch is fully down and I'm going to brake to a stop. The handbrake can now come back on. Gear into neutral. I don't need to lift the lever. All I have to do is pull it back and it'll kick out, and it's now back into neutral and it's out of gear. Okay.